sports. We the real McCoys, running the full court. We in it for the love of the sport.
Ain't that right?
We the real McCoys from the AFC North. We in it for the love of the sport. We the real McCoys, running the full court. We in it for the love of the sport. We the real McCoys from the AFC North. We in it for the love of the sport. We the real McCoys, running the full court. We in it for the love of the sport.
Ain't that right?
We the real McCoys from the AFC North. We in it for the love of the sport. We the real McCoys, running the full court. We in it for the love of the sport. We the real McCoys from the AFC North. We in it for the love of the sport. We the real McCoys, running the full court. We in it for the love of the sport.
Ain't that right?
We the real McCoys from the AFC North. Good afternoon. What's up and what's good, everybody? And welcome to Loc'd On Sports 216 end of the year edition. Today it's me, Keith Allen, along with my man Ed in Columbus on a off Brown Sunday.
That's okay.
The Browns played on Thursday, and actually an after victory Sunday, if you really think about it.
We've been partying Victory Friday, Victory Saturday, Victory Sunday, Victory Monday, all the way up until next game at Cincinnati, because we clinched the playoffs, Keith, so we got to celebrate.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Also, remember, everybody, let me put this up here for y'all today for all of those that are up and awake. The chat lines are open. Feel free to holler at us. Today, we're going to talk about some important NFL games that got some playoff position to be involved. And we're going to predict the 2 college football playoff games as well today. So it's going to be a prediction show, but we're going to talk about basically all the sports here in Cleveland in general. To start off, but we're starting off with the Browns. The Browns clinched the playoff spot. They're 11-5. Wait a minute. Let me go here to my designs and everything. Gotta go here. I gotta show the dog and everything. The Cleveland Browns clinched the playoff spot. They are presently 11-5 after defeating the New York Jets 37-20. Damn, I almost forgot the score. You know that's bad. That's bad. The Browns are 11-5 and in second place in the AFC North and are still in lightweight contention for first place in the AFC North. A lot of that depends on what goes on in about another hour with another team in our division, the Baltimore Ravens, whom they play the Miami Dolphins. Now, if the Baltimore Ravens win today against the Dolphins, which we'll predict what may happen. If the Baltimore Ravens win, then the Ravens clinch the division, and the Browns will be the wild card and more than likely the 5th seed.
Yep. If
the Ravens lose, that door is slightly open. Slightly open. Not likely, but slightly open for the Browns to possibly get the division and more than that, possibly get home field advantage.
Which gets you a bye and ensure some playoff games on the lakefront, which obviously the Browns defense plays a lot better at home than they do on the road. So that would be so advantageous. But like you said, Keith, other games have to transpire for us to get in that position, and we'll get into them later on.
Yes, sir. Also, Cleveland Cavaliers. Well, no, we don't go to the Cavaliers, but we're going to say, what was the strong points in the Browns' victory?
Well, obviously, obviously, I would say Joe Flacco. I mean, obviously, that one play, that bad play that he had, that ended up in like a pick six situation. Other than that, I saw that he played Joe Flacco football, and that's what we're going to have to continue to do. He had 3 touchdown passes. But I think the biggest takeaway from the Jets game is the fact that we could run the ball. You keep putting on your big board and your points before in the pregame shows before every Sunday that we got to get something out of the running game. Well, we got more than just something out of the running game against the New York Jets, and hopefully that can transpire and carry on because against the Bengals and obviously against the first round opponent, which more than likely will be as fifth seeded against the AFC South champion, whoever that might be.
Yes. And our players for the game on Thursday.
Well, you got to go. You got to go. I mean, Flacco's got to be one of them. I got to give
Right.
I got to give your man. I'm going to say your man with the vision. He's got the vision now. But Jerome Ford, he was a dog with 50 some yards. Was it 64 yards rushing, 50 something like that? But he had 50 some yards in the passing game. Had that long touchdown that Flacco threw him. So that was good to see. And obviously the defense. I mean, insert any name there whether it be JOK, whether it be, I mean, they were dogs on defense that whole night. But I mean, obviously, like I said, Flacco and I gotta give Jerome Ford some love because we've been dogging him all year.
Yeah. I give Jerome Ford some love because he's actually been pretty decent in the receiving game. He got 5 TDs receiving this year.
Ooh. That's more than I didn't realize. That's a great stat, kid. I had no idea. Like you watch the games over the year and you don't even think about that aspect of
right.
it. Because with Kareem Hunt's 9 touchdowns running it, and you forget that, I guess he is getting production. It's just in a different way.
Yes, you got Jerome Ford on offense, excuse me. You also got Dave Njoku, who looked like he was going to set the record in the first half on Thursday. Got David Njoku, and of course, Joe Flacco, of course. And then on defense, it was a team effort on defense.
Yeah.
But primarily safety Ronnie Hickman, free agent out of the Ohio State University.
I'm not happy with them right now, Keith, and we can get into that
later.
We're
going to discuss that as well. Hickman, the defense played lights out. Thursday, for real. They played lights out Thursday and everything. Now, if there's anything that you would want the Browns to try to fine tune going into the postseason, what will it be?
I think more just the situational play calling on third down still. I think they're still finding their ways with that. I can't really say much about the defense because when the first stringers are in, they're pretty much lights out. You can't expect them to be maybe over the middle of the field. Still, I still feel like that's if you're going to target the Cleveland Browns, that's where you're going to go. So obviously, you can. I wouldn't say fine tuning it, but just reinforcing that if don't get beat in the playoffs with a tight end going across the middle or something. I can't stand seeing that. It's a recurring nightmare. But I would just say just a continuation of fine tuning and getting more comfortable with Flacco, knowing the receivers and everything. I mean, it was a little bit tougher because of the Amari Cooper out, and then Elijah Moore went out before halftime. So I guess getting the others involved, like David Bell and Cedric Tillman, I guess maybe just getting them more acclimated to bigger roles they might have to step into if the other guys are out. So I guess basically just, I don't know, keep doing what you're doing. We're seeing a better product week in and week out and against better defenses because we had talked about Joe Flacco putting up over 300 yards, but this time he did it against a quality defense. So that was the first time we've seen that.
And he did it for the 4th consecutive game.
Yes. Wow.
4th consecutive game with 3 touchdown passes, 1 interception, and really that is one of those interceptions you'd be like, damn. But you got to tip your cap also to the defensive guy that made the play. Also for the
made a hell of a play.
And they get paid too on the other side of the ball. So but honestly, only thing I really want them to see them really work on, and you know what I'm gonna say. You know what I'm going to say? Do I have to bring the board of orange back up?
Bring it up.
Let's bring the board of orange back up. And even though it's past tense, we got to go to number 3. No damn turnovers. That's all. For real. If the Browns can solve that there is no telling where this
I
team can
agree.
go.
I agree.
Honestly, there's no telling, especially with that defense, because defense travels.
Yep.
Defense travels. And if they can solve number 3, it and I understand you there's no such thing as a perfect football game, but if they can just minimize it to maybe just one.
It's extra
One.
turnovers that like the fumbles and the and those are things that you just got to you
Yeah.
just better ball security and awareness. And even when the Joku, I know he has those angry runs, but he fumbled and then Pierre Strong fumbled it, and it's just like they run so hard and they try for that extra yardage. Maybe just be more cognizant of the fact that, hey, if you're running down the field, got to be aware that there might be somebody behind you, and just kind of just that extra protection. That's all.
True. But really, that's really my only thing, honestly, for real,
I
for
know,
real.
which is a
That's my
great thing that we're not
yes,
talking about what they need to clean up. Especially think about this with their fourth quarterback and with all the injuries that they got, and the fact that we're trying to have a segment here where we're talking about what the Browns need to clean up, basically, and all we're talking about is basically don't fumble because you're trying too hard. I'll take that.
yes. And actually, when we got to the fourth quarterback, we now have a fifth quarterback. Because the Browns did sign Jeff Driscoll off the
Oh, that's
Arizona
right. That is
practice
right.
squad.
Yeah. I don't want
Now,
to see him play. Please, Judd. I
now,
don't want to see him play.
if Baltimore wins today, you might will see him play next
That's
week.
fine. I can live with that then.
If Baltimore wins today, because think about this, and you ask yourself a couple days marinating since Thursday, if Baltimore wins, do you play the starters on next Sunday against Cincinnati?
I'm changing my answer. On the Locked On Sports 216, we've talked about that. We talked about the pre and post game before the Jets clincher on Thursday night, and I'm actually going to take back my answer. You had been with basically sit everybody, and I'm watching the college football playoffs, and I hated the opt outs because they're making them lopsided games.
We're going
But
to talk about that.
but in the NFL, it's not like that. In the NFL, basically, if you have nothing to play for, I'm changing my
Yeah.
mind and changing my answer totally. And if that's the case, put them in bubble wrap. You sit them. I don't think Joe Flacco needs any more experience. I think that obviously, he needs more reps with the guys, but they can get that in practice. The defense is as fine tuned as it's going to get. So why risk any injuries or concussions by Denzel Ward? Let's be real about that. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm getting in all the scrubs, and let's be real. So here's the thing, we saw this the second team, third string, fourth string play against Houston and give up those 2 touchdowns, and the reason why is because you got guys that haven't been accustomed to playing, and then they're looking over and they're not accustomed to playing with that guy. So get a whole game in Cincinnati because you never know. Like I said, playoffs, somebody gets dinged up, get that valuable experience as well for that Jacksonville game or whoever we end up playing, or maybe we are the 1 seed and get a bye. That's even better. But at the same time, changing my answer, if Baltimore wins today and we have nothing to play for, sit them all, let them enjoy the game, and let Kevin Stefanski, coach another masterful game with some scrubs and see what he can do.
Yeah, that's what I said. If Baltimore wins, hey, you sit them. You know what I'm saying? You either sit them, or if you do want to play them, do it like a preseason.
Yeah, a couple series and get
Yeah, a
them
couple
out.
series and get them out and everything so nobody gets hurt and everything. Because, if we didn't have the injury luck that we had this year,
Yeah.
I'd probably be like, play them for a half or whatever. But
Right. It'd be totally, our mindset would be
it'd
totally
be
different.
totally different. But when I seen Elijah Moore go down, I was like, oh, you got to be kidding me. You got to be kidding me and everything. And honestly, and think about it, Flacco wouldn't have nothing to play for him because he don't even have his first 2 receivers.
Right, that's the thing. Now you're putting him out there in a situation where it's not like the offense, even if he gets something going or figures it out, at what extent, and then he's got to wait an extra second longer for the receivers to break, and then the Bengals defenders
Yeah.
come at him and hit him and sack him and hurt him. It's not worth it. It's just not worth it. The timing's not going to be there, and the people that you're playing him with aren't going to be playing in that playoff game anyways. What's the point?
Now, let me ask you this, because it might be a situation where Elijah Moore may be out
I know.
for their first playoff game, or if they have to play next week and they want to play for the division, he may be out.
Yeah.
Um, Would you be in favor of A, bringing up Austin Watkins,
Hmm.
or a name I heard this week in the last couple of days, B, a fella by the name of Jarvis Landry?
Hmm. Okay, here's the deal with it. I saw this off Jarvis Landry, and I like the nostalgia, and it's contagious. It's contagious. He's a Hard Knocks hero, and was definitely a star of that show during a Hugh Jackson administration that I want to forget about. And I thank Jarvis for his service at Cleveland Brown. He represented us. I liked his softball challenge. I liked everything he did for Cleveland, but give me Austin Watkins. Give me the preseason star. Give me a guy that kind of reminds me a lot of Elijah Moore, that's been with us this whole year, kind of with I'm saying, that's been in more football kind of ready shape, and a guy that's, I think, more ready to contribute for us. And no offense to Jarvis, he's a veteran. I'm sure he could come in and do some wonderful things. But I know I'm all for young cats coming up and earning their stripes. And
Yeah.
give me Austin Watkins. I just got a feeling that guy could become go Cleveland legend if he gets a call up.
I'll say this. If they want to bring Austin Watkins up next week against Cincinnati, fine.
Yep.
But if Elijah Moore is not playing in Jacksonville, Indianapolis, or Houston, whoever that may be, I might have to turn to Jarvis because I need that experience. I do in the playoffs. I need that experience. Next week, it's going to be no pressure. But the week after that, all the bets on. And think about
When
it.
has Jarvis played that? What's his? I've not been paying attention to him really too
Last year,
much.
he played for the New Orleans Saints.
Insane. Has he played this year?
No, but
Okay.
they've struck twice, lightning twice. Kareem
Flacco
Hunt,
and
Kareem Hunt and Flacco,
yeah.
and
Okay.
those two worked out pretty well. Check out both those guys that we signed.
Yeah.
Flacco leads the team in touchdown passes. Kareem Hunt leads the team in touchdowns. I think he might be tied with Ford, but he's on the lead of touchdowns with 9.
Rushing
So
touchdowns, definitely.
yeah, rushing touchdowns. He's definitely in the lead. So
Yep.
just a little nugget to go on and everything.
I trust whoever they bring in. I trust
right.
whatever they do. I'll trust
on.
it. Yeah.
Little nugget to go on. But hey, we'll see what happens. Hopefully, Elijah Moore, for real, just make a recovery. And if it's in the cards for you to play the rest of the season, it's in the cards. If not,
Did you see
just get
what the
healthy.
TMZ? Did you see this? This on Twitter? I saw this, or X. There's a doctor, and I don't know. I guess he was reporting for TMZ and said
Saying
that
that
basically
he should retire.
Yes. What do you think about that?
Oof, man.
Oh.
I'm gonna say this: when I seen him, it looked kind of weird. I'm gonna be honest. I was like, what the? And I'm gonna be honest, it might be a while before he plays because the last thing that you really want a person to, sometimes you got to save people from themselves.
Yes.
And think about it last year when you seen Tua, way his fingers was looking and stuff. A week after he had everybody knows he suffered a concussion. Had to.
Yes.
And he got brought back the week after. So Elijah Moore, as far as I'm concerned, really from right now, it's more than just football. It's get healthy. Get healthy, young man.
This might be one of those things you want to shut it down the rest of the year, kind of, and see what that brain does. Because I mean, he was doing some involuntary things, and like that doctor was saying, we don't know if there was any damage. Was it just because of the hit, or was it something long term? I don't know. I mean, I don't.
Yeah, man. Like I said, get healthy. Get looked at, checked out, get healthy, and everything. Because I was like, man. And think about this: when Elijah Moore went down, the passing offense just flatlined.
It did. Well, they had no Amari Cooper. You had no Elijah Moore.
No Amari Cooper, no Elijah Moore. Then they was doubling and tripling David Njoku. They was all, we be damned if we gonna let this dude kill us.
But our run game was still somewhat consistent with Pierce Strong, and that was nice to see. That was still nice to see. So
yes. So, okay, I got another question to ask you real fast.
Okay,
who would your opponent be of the three?
Mm. You know what?
Jacksonville,
Yeah.
Indianapolis,
Uh,
or Houston?
okay. Well, here's the thing. I think we're going to get a different brand of Houston if we play them. It'd be a CJ Stroud led Houston team. Jacksonville, we played them here, obviously, and beat them. I don't know if Trevor Lawrence is out still, because I know he's not playing
Yes.
today. I don't know exactly what his status is long term, or at least the next couple of weeks. So I guess to answer that question, and I know this is all contingency, but I guess it would be still Houston, because they're still a young team even with CJ Stroud. I think our defense could confuse them. So I still think Houston is probably or easy. If we played the Colts and won by 1 point, I know that was a PJ Walker game, but our defense wasn't exactly on point that game. I
No.
mean, gave up 38
No.
points. And one thing about Jacksonville, I don't really want to play them there. Now Jacksonville's a better team on the road, but there's something about them. I know they came back and beat
Yeah.
the Chargers last year in that wild card game. We're down like 24-0, came back and won. So there's just something about Jacksonville that I don't think playing them a second time would do us any good. So give me Houston. I know it would be a second time with them, but I feel like they're just a young enough team where that I think our experience, and especially with our defense that travels, like you said, I think that would be our best opponent.
Yes, me myself, Jacksonville. If Trevor Lawrence is healthy and on point,
I don't want to.
but they haven't been the same since Christian Kirk went out. Just being real.
No, absolutely correct. Absolutely correct.
Then you got Indianapolis. And the thing that scares me about Indianapolis is they got two running backs that gave us fits the
Yes.
last time we played them. And you got Gardner Minshew, and Minshew is more than capable.
Yes.
We'll catch the Minshew that wants to throw for 300 and rush for 2 rushing touchdowns like he did the first time. And CJ Stroud, he's a rookie, but Houston is like us playing with house money. And that can be very scary as well. So I would probably say I would gotta go on the road either way.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to face Houston with CJ Stroud. I'm gonna be honest. In the playoffs, I wouldn't. The way our defense sometimes plays on the road.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Jacksonville is kind of compromised. You know what I'm saying? Because you could be more focused on Ridley and Trevor Lawrence. You don't know what his situation is going to be. So right now, based on today, December 31st, if the Browns had to play today in a wild card game, I would say Jacksonville. But
See,
next
and
week that could
there's
change.
no there's no right or wrong answer. But hey, Keith, F that. Here's my answer. Baltimore, you lose today to Miami. Baltimore, you lose to the Steelers next week. Cleveland, you beat the Bengals next week. We get that number 1 seed, and then none of this shit matters. How about that?
And I'm telling people, I was like, these 2 games for Baltimore are not guaranteed. Think about this. Remember what I said when I said only maybe Deshaun, Mahomes, and maybe Tua could have came back against the Ravens? Tua did it.
Yeah, he did that.
Last year.
Yeah. That's right.
Last year. And if Baltimore can't contain Tyreek Hill, anything goes. You know what I'm
Is
saying?
that game in Miami? Is that game in Miami today?
No, that game is in Baltimore today at 1 o'clock.
Again, because I know last time it was in Baltimore,
Yeah.
so I was just hoping it was in
Yeah.
Miami.
So I mean, it's not guaranteed. And then you also got to remember, Baltimore, if they lose this week, they got to play Pittsburgh next week. And that's no gimme either.
Yeah, that game's in Baltimore as well.
Because the Steelers would love nothing more than to put the Wujammies on Baltimore to end their regular season. And think about this. If Pittsburgh, let's just say, if Mason Rudolph plays next week, and doesn't turn the ball over, the Steelers have something to play for as well. Still, their playoff lives. And if Mason Rudolph doesn't turn the ball over, Pittsburgh is going to be in that ball game.
I mean, it's an AFC North battle. Those two teams hate
Yes.
each other. It's going to be one of those games. I definitely think it's going to be close going into the fourth quarter. I'm just hoping that, in the Lamar we trust, and we all know Keith.
Yeah.
We love. We know. I think that's just going to be the difference in that game, and
Right.
I mean, it's hard to
Yeah,
hard to go
'cause
against Baltimore at home against
it
against
is.
yeah. So
But
we'll
with the
see.
Steelers, anything can happen because think about it. You remember when Matt and them told us what they thought the score was going to be when the Ravens was playing us in Baltimore?
42-6 was one of them, and like
And
32
42 to
to like
17
17 or
was the
something.
other one. It was 41 to 6.
Yep, and 42-17. Yes.
Yes, I remember that like yesterday. And
Yeah.
I was
Shout
sitting
out to
there
Matt
like,
Trigger and his crew over there at the BWAC
yes,
podcast. Yes.
yeah, shout out to them and everything. I know they're happy because I got them ranked number one in the Loc'd On
And
Sports
rightfully
316
so. They do deserve to
NFL
be
Power
number one.
Rankings. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And like I said, and also the Browns could possibly host a home game in the playoffs, even if they're a wild card. Because I'm going to tell you, if Buffalo gets in, they're going to beat somebody.
Yeah, and then we would play them at yeah.
They're going to beat somebody. So we'll see what happens and everything far as that. Now, let's move right along real quick. Let's move to some basketball. Well, no, college football.
Yeah, okay. Let's go. Okay.
Because you got the playoff, and I seen some disturbing things this weekend.
Okay. Yeah, me too.
Friday, we're going to start off with Ohio State. Friday, they got beat by Missouri. And, man, I'm just going to say this. Before I was like, Ryan Day could stay. But I'm going to be honest, and I'm going to put it out here right now. If this team loses to Michigan for a fourth year in a row, he's going to be out. He's going to be out.
I think you're right, but I don't think this Missouri game, as frustrating as it was with the opt-outs and with the quarterback situation for Ohio State, I think this season, once we lost to Michigan, was a wraps. It didn't matter what happened in this bowl game. As frustrating as it is as Buckeye fans to watch this crap that we had to put up with on Friday night in the Cotton Bowl Classic, I don't think it has any bearing. I think next year is the hottest of the hot seats for, I guess you could call it a Scarlet on Fire seat in Columbus with Ryan Day. But if Ryan Day wins the Big Ten, beats Michigan and gets the playoff, which with the 12-team playoff is going to be really impossible for us not to make the playoffs. I think his job will be secure. And everybody's throwing out these names and everything of who they could possibly get and everything. I just think it's too late in the game to fire him. You've already got he's got a strong recruiting class, which was ranked, I think, second in the nation. So it's not like he's losing those guys. I think the quarterback position is something that Ohio State desperately needs to address. I think it's like Pittsburgh, and I said this. Yeah, I know so. But would you agree to this, Keith? Now, I got a question for you.
Okay.
All the quarterbacks you see on the Ohio State roster right now with Keen Holtz and with Devin Brown and whoever they got, because obviously McCord went to Syracuse. I think it's like the Pitt Steelers situation where clean house. So just clean house. You got Air Nolan coming in. I don't care who else you got. Clean, because nobody on this roster right now is worthy of being the Ohio State quarterback. Let's be real.
No. I'm going to be honest. Cade McCord was Dan Marino for Ohio State this year compared to what I seen on Friday.
Yes.
He was Dan Marino compared to what I seen on Friday. And I'm going to be honest. If Cade McCord would have stayed and played, Harrison would have played. So that McCord situation said a lot to me. It said a lot. And the fact that he left OSU to go to Syracuse?
Jim Brown went there, I hear.
Syracuse.
Yeah.
We ain't talk. It's one thing if he is going to Nebraska.
Right.
But Syracuse?
Now, from what I hear, he didn't want to have any competition. He wanted to be the guy. And
in Syracuse.
He's. I mean, I don't know exactly the mental mind frame makeup of that decision, but I will say this: I think McCord for his service. I think that he was a little bit underrated, overrated, depending on what angle you took at harassing him on social media.
I
But
didn't harass him.
yeah,
Because I
yeah,
looked at it as shit. We lost, and truthfully, I'm gonna be honest. It wasn't all on McCord. McCord scored
no,
enough points to win. Our
yeah, it's
defense gave up
defense.
30 points, didn't we?
Yep, 30 to
And
24.
we couldn't stop Michigan on the last 3 or 4 drives of the
7
game.
minutes. Yeah, couldn't do it.
Yes, there was something wrong with that defense. And think about this, which leads to a greater problem. Ohio State defense hasn't been
Mm,
great against teams when they've needed them to be.
nope.
Georgia last year, we was up by 15.
Yeah, right.
And then we score like 40 points against Georgia or something like that.
41.
Georgia ain't had 41 scored on them probably the
I
whole
know.
year this year.
Yeah.
Um, and we let Georgia drive down the field in the second half like it wasn't nothing. This
Yep.
year, Michigan, no Jim Harbaugh. And somehow we could not stop their offense when we needed it.
Tied the game at 17, and then they go right down the field and score a touchdown. I mean, it's just we could not get that key stop, and it was just very frustrating.
Yeah, and I think McCord. Now, don't get me wrong, McCord wasn't perfect, but
No,
he wasn't the first problem
no.
on that team at all.
There was the play calling against. If you want to talk
Yes,
specifically against Michigan, it was the play calling and the defense not being able to get the key stops. I mean, that was just the. I mean,
and you know it's bad when Michigan people are saying that wasn't no Ohio State team.
yeah, I saw that. Yeah, I saw that
Oh,
defensive lineman said that it was tough for him to even watch Ohio State play and look at the way that they played.
eh,
So,
I probably only watched about 10 minutes of that game.
well, good for you. Your eyes aren't burned like mine.
I couldn't stomach it. I was like, oh no, I can't do this.
Yeah,
I can't do this. I mean,
painful, painful.
and there was also talk that one of the Ohio State coaches ditched practice to go to a concert.
No, good for him. Looking back at it, it's not the look you want, but at the same time, hey, if he knew what was coming down, maybe he knew. Maybe he knew Devin Brown. Because let's be real, it was like, oh, Devin Brown Devin Brown. He couldn't beat out McCord. He looked like he never really was. He's overrated. I know these Devin Brown lovers and things like that. I don't understand it. He's horrible. It wouldn't have changed anything. They still would have looked horrible. He needs to go. He wears number 33. Get the hell out of here, quarterback wearing 33. You're not Sammy Ball. This ain't the 1920s or 30, but whatever the hell he played.
And I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna say this: Ryan Day is gonna have to do an about face like Kevin Stefanski did this
He
year.
does. That's a great point. Great point, Keith.
He's gonna have to make some changes because I'm telling you, if this team loses to Michigan again in 2024, and especially if you lose to them 2 years in a row and Michigan didn't have Harbaugh, because it ain't guaranteed Harbaugh is going to be there in 2024.
He signed with I see that recently he signed with an agent that represents mostly NFL. So, and there's rumors with the Chargers, I believe.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
It's you lose to Michigan 2 years in a row without Harbaugh on the sidelines. That can't happen.
It won't. Well, you're right. It can happen, and
That cannot
if it
happen.
does
If it
happen,
does, Terminator X.
that's right.
I'm telling you. So Ryan Day, don't be too comfortable. Because I heard a lot of things that's going on with that program that it ain't like it was with the last two coaches before,
But Urban and yeah, Trust.
with Urban and Tressel. That's all I'm gonna say.
Fair enough.
And Ryan Day better get it together. But another disturbing thing I've seen in college football, and honestly, I haven't really watched too many bowl games because, truthfully, with the college playoff, it done really took the bowl game significance out.
Yep, they don't matter. They don't
They
matter.
don't matter. They don't matter no more. And when I seen Florida State get beat by Georgia, I was like, wow. If I was Florida State, I'm gonna be honest. After the way they did get done by the NCAA, but not being included in the playoff, and they did everything asked, I probably wouldn't even accepted a bowl bid this year.
You know, and I'm not. I kind of agree with that because you got to think, and I don't blame these players for they're opting
Yeah,
out because no matter what they did, they go out and beat Georgia. That's just going to compound problems and make it worse for them because they're going to think we should be national champions, which they would never be even if they won that game. So
yes.
maybe that, and maybe it's better just to
And,
get your butts kicked the way they did with nobody playing.
and think about this. Florida State probably look like, oh, you ain't gonna put us in the playoffs, but you put us against a team that's playoff worthy as well.
Absolutely.
All them players looked at them and like, fuck y'all.
Yep.
Fuck y'all. And
Yep.
honestly, I wouldn't even accepted the bowl bid for real, for real.
I think
Because
that would actually, been the
because they
best
did
solution.
everything asked.
Yep.
And for the NCAA or whoever the bowl committee or whatever the playoff committee to say they really weren't worthy, that's a shot in the chops. Because think about this, 10 years ago, if that's the case, a team 10 years ago that we're all familiar with wouldn't have got in either, or shouldn't have got in either.
The Buckeyes of Ohio State.
Correct. Think about it. Braxton Miller had the shoulder problems. Barrett got hurt in the Michigan game. Cordell Jones was the third string quarterback, just like Florida State. And Ohio State did what they had to do to win the Big Ten title. And then when they did get in, they said Alabama's going to kick our ass. But we kicked Alabama's ass. Then we heard the next week, oh, they ain't going to be able to stop Oregon, Mariota and everything. We kicked Oregon's ass too. And for the NCAA or the bowl committee or whoever the fuck runs that shit to not include Florida State was a travesty. It was a travesty. And hopefully stuff like this doesn't go on in the future with the 12-team playoff. But trust me, it's going to be a team that's going to be playoff worthy that's going to get stuck in the Holiday Bowl or the shit bowl.
But I think the one thing with this 12-team playoff is here's the problem that we talked about this. You had a potential when there's only 4. I don't think there'll be a potential where an undefeated team is left out. You may be arguing about the 12th and the 13th team that has 1 or 2 losses or 3 losses or whatever the case may be, but you won't have this scenario where there's an undefeated. How can you go undefeated and not make that makes no sense to me. So luckily this 12-team playoff, unless you have 12 teams that are undefeated, highly unlikely. But in this case scenario, because of only 4 teams, an undefeated team got left out, which is ridiculous. So that's why this 12-team playoff, yes, you will always be arguing about the 12, 13, 14 team. I get that. Always will be teams saying that they should have got in that didn't get in, but you will never have the scenario again where an undefeated champion of their conference, a major conference, gets left out. And that's the great thing about this.
Yes. But we do have 2 college football games to predict real quick.
Yes.
And we're going to start off with the first one tomorrow at 5 o'clock at the Rose Bowl, where you have the Alabama Crimson Tide going up against the Michigan Wolverines. Michigan ranked number 1, Alabama number 4. Even though that's an outlier with that number 4.
Yeah, it is.
So, what do you think?
Well,
Who you got?
They're playing in Pasadena, and like Keith Jackson would say, the granddaddy of them all. My favorite bowl game. I love the San Gabriel Mountains in the background. It is college football's, I think, finest bowl game when it comes to scenery.
Yes.
You got a classic Big Ten team in the Michigan Wolverines against obviously a dominant SEC team that's probably the most storied team in the last 50 years, I would say, with Alabama. But give me. The Crimson Tide will roll, and not by much, but they will roll 27-24 over Michigan.
Okay. Alabama, Michigan. Alabama got in. They beat the best team, Georgia. They beat Georgia. Got in. Michigan. I'm going to say this. If Michigan was to win, I wouldn't be shocked. Because I actually think like this. If Michigan doesn't win it this year, when are they? For real, for real. All the cards are set in their favor. But the thing that Michigan is going to face this year that they didn't have to face with Ohio State is they got a multi-faceted QB. That Jalen Milroe dude has been for Alabama this year. They've really been under the radar because everybody been kissing Georgia's ass all year. I mean, for real, they've been kissing Georgia's ass and Ohio State's ass all year. So, and Michigan's ass all year. But the Milroe kid, he's like a 6'3" version of Jalen Hurts, but a lot more accurate throwing.
He's only getting better too.
And he's only getting better. And I think he'll be back next year, right? Ain't he a sophomore?
Yeah, I know he's definitely not. Yeah, I think he'll be back because there's been no talk. So, yeah, that's scary.
And ever since he got benched, dude has been lights out and getting better.
And he's clutch. He's clutch. He showed that against Auburn.
Clutch,
he showed that against Georgia.
He showed that against everybody after the benching.
Yep.
Hell, he almost pulled off the Texas game.
Almost.
And they lost. Yeah.
Yep.
So I'm going to go with Alabama 28, Michigan 24. I think Milroe is going to be a problem for the Wolverines to handle. He's going to be a problem. And I hate saying this because I can't stand the fucking SEC. Shit. But I'm going to go with Alabama because Michigan has trouble with multifaceted quarterbacks. So I got Alabama winning 28-24. Moving right along to the Sugar Bowl down in New Orleans. This is actually the most impossible game to predict in a sense. You got the Texas Longhorns with a former Ohio State quarterback going up against the Washington Huskies. 2-3 matchup, 3-2 matchup. Texas, number 3, the only team that beat Alabama this year, and Washington went undefeated in the Pac-12. Ed, who you got?
Well, here's the deal. I mean, you look at the offense and defensive lines, and you're thinking Texas. They got the beef. And they do. And you think, okay, Texas is back, but Texas is kind of one of those teams where I don't know if they really should have got in. I would have actually rather preferred Ohio State over them, but I'm biased. Whatever. Let Matthew McConaughey.
I'd have rolled with Texas. Florida State getting in. You know,
I would have too. But they're in. Okay, and I love Washington is a fun team. You got Michael Penix Jr. You got some Oduzzi and all those weapons that they got. Their running back is awesome, actually, Robinson or whatever his name is. But yeah, they got some weapons. And here's the thing: a lot of people are predicting the Texas defensive line will make it tough and disrupt the rhythm of that Washington Huskies offense. But here's the thing: I gotta say, not so fast, my friend. Here's what Washington's gonna do. Washington is gonna beat them because here's why. And the only reason I got is because like when Reggie Miller beat the Knicks, Texas chokes, and that's the thing. And I think they're going to choke against Washington tomorrow night, and it's going to be a Washington Huskies Alabama national championship because Washington will win 38-35.
That's right along in the ways I see it. I just see it as Penix year this year. I just see it as his year. I mean, even though I think he probably should have won the Heisman Trophy, but that's neither here or there. But you got to think, Washington, actually, man, they make plays when they need them the most. And Texas, they're good. Don't get me wrong. They're good, but I think they have weaknesses in that defense that Washington can exploit. So I got Washington winning 30 34-30. It's going to be a shootout.
Yeah, I agree. I
I
These
got
bowl
them winning
games tend to be
34-30. Yeah, none of these defenses can stop anybody's no more now.
offense.
So.
Yeah, I mean, right.
So we're both basically looking at a Alabama versus Washington final.
Yep, absolutely. Yes. That's okay
So
with
we'll
me.
see what
Just
happens.
get Michigan out of there. As a Buckeye fan, get them out of there.
Right, exactly. Let's get Michigan out of there. So moving right along, before we get to our pro predictions, we're gonna move to basketball real quick. Moving right along, you have the Cleveland Cavaliers. The Cavs are, I don't know what their record is, 18-14, something like that. They lost to the Milwaukee Bucks on Friday, which was a highly contested game and everything. But my thing is this. This is what I wanted to ask you real quick. Do you think let me see. Do you think who would you rather keep? Because I think it's going to come to where they're going to have to make a decision.
Well,
Do
between
you
Mitchell and
keep
Garland.
You already know.
I
Do you
know.
keep Mitchell or do you keep Garland?
Well, here's the thing. I would have said Garland a couple weeks ago or even a week ago, but I like, you know what, this I know the Cavs team lost to the Bucks 119-111, but they had won 5 of their last 6. They won in Dallas. They'd been winning some games, and Mitchell, when he's on there, it looks like the cohesiveness of the team looks a little better. Here's the thing.
Yeah.
I would rather keep Mitchell, but I need to know that Mitchell's going to stay. Now, I know there were some moves made yesterday by the Knicks and the Raptors that I think the Knicks overpaid for. So maybe that prices them out of any Donovan Mitchell sweepstakes or anything that could possibly. Here's the thing. If I'm going to lose Mitchell, I got to stay Garland, but I would rather keep Mitchell. He's a better player. He's a scorer. I think he's getting the team more involved when he plays. But also, I did like the fact it's like the whole LeBron thing. When things shut down, he can score, and I like that aspect. I wish you. I mean, I think that's a go-to that many teams don't have, and when you have that, you can't just throw that away. So if you're going to tell me that Mitchell's going to sign an extension, give me Mitchell all day. I mean, I guess that's what it comes down to. I would rather prefer Mitchell, but I need to know that he's going to stay here.
Yes. Me myself. If you would have asked me at the end of this past season, I would have said Garland hands down. But going through this season and checking things out as they are, and I'm going to be flat out honest. Ever since Darius's All-Star season, he hasn't. He's plateaued. He stayed here. Where Mitchell can go here. And the Cavs respond better to Mitchell than they do Garland. Because, see, nothing against Garland. I love Darius Garland. But the team is too, how can I say, when he plays, they're turnover prone more turnover prone. And they play a little kind of lack of assertiveness with Darius, if you know what I mean. And honestly, if I'm the Cavs, I'm trying to move heaven and earth to see what Donovan is going to do. Now, if they can sign Donovan, if Donovan Mitchell say, "Look, I want to stay here for 5 years," Darius will be on that first plane.
I'm on the phone. Hey, what do you want for Darius? I'm on the phone.
Look what you want for Darius, because look, Mitchell's more durable. Darius gets hurt a lot.
He's always hurt, Keith. What is his problem? Like, he's always hurt.
It just looks like he hasn't he's plateaued. It's like nothing has improved or changed. You know what I'm saying?
Mitchell's got that dog in him too. I think the team plays like he's got that dog in him.
Yeah, exactly. Mitchell got that dog where he ain't taking no shit.
No.
He going to the hole and I'm cramming on your ass.
Yes.
And God damn it, we gonna win this game and y'all coming with me. Yep. Where I don't see that too much with Darius. And I think with Mitchell, Mobley will be more assertive to come. Because honestly, think about this. Donovan Mitchell, you get now the best out of Jared Allen. He's playing better than he has in the year he was an
Well,
All-Star.
that was my argument for Garland because I had said that before Mitchell that they had a nice rapport between them. But you know, like I said, this last 2 weeks, I've seen the way the Cavs played. I've seen, you know what it comes down to. I'll be real with you, Keith. For real. Jared
Okay.
Allen is the reason why I've changed my answer because I've seen the way he's played without Garland, and when he's on the floor with Mitchell, he's got that dog in him, and he's
Yes.
more assertive, and that's the reason why it's not Mitchell compared to Garland. It's I needed to see the rest of the team and how they would respond with just Mitchell, and they've really stepped it up the last 2 weeks, and I would rather have that brand of basketball moving forward because I think that translates. We would have beat the Knicks last year if they would have played the last 2 weeks like they're playing now. They're playing like dogs now, and that's what we
Yes.
needed to beat the Knicks. And I think that's why I would go with Mitchell because he can not only transform himself and just be that pure shooter or pure scorer that we need. He can also get the offense involved, but he also changes their mentality, and that's what I like to
Yes.
see.
It's more urgency with Mitchell at the helm. I'm just saying more urgency. And think about this also. There was whispers about JB's job, but honestly, I'm gonna be honest. JB's coached his ass off
I
these
think he's
last
coached his best
couple of
basketball
weeks.
the last couple of
He's
weeks.
coached his best
Absolutely.
basketball the
Yes.
last couple of weeks.
Yep.
And the fact that he's getting work out of Porter.
Yes.
And he's slowly sliding Imani Bates in.
I know you mentioned
Slowly.
it. Yes.
He's
I can't wait to
slowly
see more of
sliding
him.
him in.
Yep.
But he getting work out of Porter. That kid. Because honestly, the Cavs could probably be better off with a pass first point guard.
Yes. Yes. To answer your question, yes.
A pass first point guard. So I
Yes.
have to go with Mitchell. I mean, for real, for real.
Yep.
And Mobley is never going to be that scoring guy. Everybody talking about a unicorn like Porzingis. But Mobley can be a unicorn in other ways.
Yes. And
Where
if you have Mitchell,
Mitchell defensive wise. And
that's what
plus,
he needs. Yep.
no matter what, Mobley is still going to get you 16 to 17 points a game.
Yeah. That's a lot. That's pretty good. I
He
don't know what people want.
He ain't even got a jump shot.
Like, what if
He's
people
still
want if he
getting you
gets for 18
16.
points? Yeah, 18
Yeah.
points a game, say, and he's doing everything else he's doing on the floor. What more do you want from him?
Exactly.
I don't get it.
He's giving you 16 and 10 every game. It's like what is you talking about? It's like, come on. But like I said, I would take Mitchell if the Cavs can move heaven and earth and see if they can extend him. It's Mitchell. Now, if not, then
We have to
I
take
have to go the other
Garland.
way around. We got to take Garland. And it ain't a bad choice,
No,
but it is what it is.
we would need to get more pieces to help Garland than we
Yes.
would if we had Mitchell.
Have to get Mitchell.
That's the
Yes.
difference. That's the difference.
Yes. But now we got to move right along. We got to go back to football real quick. Also, Cleveland State men play today.
Okay.
I don't know who they play.
Wow.
Uh-oh. I'm
You're not
slipping.
going to the game?
No, they're not here today. They're not
Oh,
here.
they're on the road. Okay.
They're on the road. I think they play Indiana, Purdue, Fort Wayne, something like that.
Okay.
Something like that. Let me see. I know it's something. I know it's Indiana, Fort Wayne, something like that. Gotta scroll here and see it. Oh shit! Didn't want to do that. Damn. Ah, fuck! I didn't want to do that either. Ah, damn it.
Shout
Ah,
out to them.
shout out to damn cell phones. Cell phones. Let's see. Okay. Cleveland State plays IUPUI at 2 p.m.
Okay. Well, good luck.
Good luck to the Vikings, the Lady Vikings. I haven't mentioned them that much this year, but the Lady Vikings lost in a game against Wisconsin Green Bay, which would be first place for the women in the Horizon League. They've had a rival for the last couple of years.
Oh, okay. Okay.
They lost to the Wisconsin Green Bay. Yeah, Cleveland State men are 9-5, third in the Horizon League.
All right, well,
So
keep it going.
go Vikings, go Vikings. But moving right along to what we actually are here for right now, since it's that type of season. Also, shout out to the Ohio State men's team. They
Yeah, got the
won
win
last night. Got the win against West Virginia.
in Cleveland.
Yes. Yes, sir. Shout out to them. I haven't really paid attention to Ohio State hoops this year.
They got the best backcourt in the Big Ten with
I see.
yeah.
That guard is nice.
Yeah.
Guard is nice. But moving right along, we're going to go to some predictions real quick because we're running a little short on time. The Raiders against the
Raiders.
Indianapolis Colts. Colts playing for their playoff lives. Who do you got?
It's in Indy. I think it's gonna be a close game. Give me the Colts 23-17 over the Raiders.
This will be a game I would say the Raiders, because their defense have played better under Pierce as coach.
Yeah, they beat Kansas City last week.
But they can't get nothing on offense going.
I know.
So, and Minshew has the potential to strike you. So, give me the Colts.
Oh, Colts it is.
Give me the Colts 17-10.
Okay.
All right, moving right along. Casey is going to be happy I brought this game up.
Oh, yeah.
In Tampa Bay, the Tampa Mayfields are at home and in first place and ranked number 10 in the Loc'd On Sports NFL Power Rankings. They take on the New Orleans Saints. Who you got, Ed?
Well, the resurgence of Baker Mayfield has definitely helped the first place Tampa Bay Buccaneers in that NFC South. I think it's going to be one of those NFC South kind of games. I don't think Baker's going to have a particularly good game for whatever reason, but I think he'll have enough to get the victory today. Give me the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 24, the Saints 20.
Yeah, you know what? It's scary. We both done thought on the same plane today. I'm taking the Buccaneers. Honestly, I'm happy for Baker, for real.
Yeah, me too.
I'm happy for Baker, hey. And something ain't right with New Orleans on that offense side of the ball. Something ain't meshing right there. And Dennis Allen gonna probably be on the firing line too. Yeah. Give me Tampa Bay 20-13.
Okay.
20-13. Coming up next, which will be coming on in a few minutes. Game that will determine the Browns' playoff destiny. The Miami Dolphins travel to Baltimore to take on the Baltimore Ravens. If Baltimore wins, they clinch the AFC North. If Miami wins, they clinch the AFC East. Who you got, Ed?
Well, I bought into this whole Lamar Jackson thing. I don't think the mammal fish will beat them again in Baltimore. I think it's going to be a close game. I think it's actually going to do the Browns a favor because, then we'll know basically we can rest our starters next week in Cincinnati. But give me Lamar Jackson 28. Give me the mammal fish 24.
Man. Oh my goodness. Like I said, I ain't gonna waver. In Lamar, I trust.
Yep.
Give me the Ravens 30. The Miami Dolphins 27.
Good game. Good games either way, though. Good games.
Yes. Now moving on to Burrowhead. Not Burrowhead. No, Arrowhead. You have the Cincinnati Bengals playing for their playoff lives, and you have the floundering Kansas City Chiefs, who are playing just for their sanity right now. Who you got, Ed?
Well, it's not going to be Burrowhead today because obviously, if it is, it's going to be miraculous since he'll be not wearing a uniform and just on the sidelines. But I think Kansas City fixes their ill wills this past couple of weeks, and a game that they want to bill it as a prime time, a great game this week. But I don't think it's going to be so. I think Kansas City gets it done 34-20.
Browning's pumpkin carriage continues. The carriage still is a pumpkin. I got Kansas City, and I don't even think they're going to beat them by much, but Cincinnati is going to do Cincinnati things to blow the game. It's going to be Kansas City 20-17. And going over to the far northwest, another team in the AFC North playing for their playoff lives, and a team in the NFC West, well, the AFC North playing for their playoff lives, against a team from the NFC West playing for their playoff lives. Got the Pittsburgh Steelers going up against the Seattle Seahawks. Ed, who you got?
A tie. Let's see here. I could see this game. This game is. I think about it. Think about it. You think about it. Seattle should win this game. It's tough for a team to go all the way out to the Pacific Northwest and win against that 12th man, which is the Seattle Seahawks fans. But there's just something about that defense of the Pittsburgh Steelers and Mike Tomlin. There's just something about it. I know the Seahawks have won a couple games recently, and they're kind of revived their season. But I could see it being a game where Pittsburgh just ekes it out. Give me the Steelers 21, the Seahawks 20.
Okay. Mason Rudolph's carriage turns into a pumpkin this week as well. If Pittsburgh don't turn the ball over, they're going to be in it. Yep. But without Pickett, I'm not sure about this team at all and everything. And Seattle has the most dominant 12th man in the league.
Yes.
Give me the Seahawks. 19-14. And ending Pittsburgh's season.
Yeah, that's not a bad thing. I just need Pittsburgh to win next week then.
Not a bad thing. Yeah. And all the other teams win next week or whatever and finish over 500, I don't give a damn. But anyway, those are our predictions for the NFL. Now, real quick, we're going to move right along to baseball real quick as you got the Cleveland Guardians. The Guardians, any New Year's resolutions for the Guardians, Ed, real quick?
Just bounce back and win games. I mean, I think last year was after a 92-win year, the year before winning the AL Central, they kind of had a downslide this year with all the injuries. I guess it's a Cleveland thing, but usher in the new blue seats over that Progressive Field and just stay healthy. My New Year's resolution for them is to stay healthy, maybe try to get all possible another bat for that lineup, whether it be definitely need a corner outfielder with some power, but or maybe they'll develop somebody, bring somebody up, but just stay healthy and see what you got, and then maybe make a move at the trade deadline.
Damn it, just win.
There you go.
Win, and I'm saying this, and I've been saying it for a while. Move Tristan McKenzie to the bullpen.
I like that.
Move him to the bullpen. Move him as a setup man, because the way it looks, y'all are intent on letting Clase go anyway. But move him to the bullpen as a setup man, because I can't trust Karinchak. I can't. And get us some goddamn outfielders that can hit the
I'm sorry. I'm working on it down in Columbus.
Get us some goddamn outfielders, damn it. If you got to bring them dudes up from Columbus and you just got another guy from the Yankees, a farmhand.
We did. Yes.
Bring those guys up. Let them have a shot.
Let them play. Let them get some at-bats.
Lightning in the bottle, because shit, hell. Forget all this. I mean, don't get me wrong. What's my guy named? Will Brennan. He's okay, but he doesn't do nothing for me.
Just he's a jag, just a guy.
I love Stephen Kwan. He should be playing center.
Right. But Miles Straw,
fifth outfielder.
Yeah.
Pinch runner. Late defensive.
Yeah. Thank you.
I can roll with that. But, and think about this. The return of the Hedgie.
That's right. Yeah.
Well, he can help Bo Naylor with the pitching staff.
Yep.
So, hey, we'll see what happens. Anyway, we'd like to thank everybody for watching. I'd like to thank everybody for the audience that improved this year. I'm grateful. Slowly improve. I'm grateful for Ed stepping in, coming on, and everything with me. I'm grateful. I have a whole lot of better things in store for 2024. I'd like to thank everybody for watching, tuning in, chiming in, commenting. Even though we don't get no comments on the early show.
Yeah, they come out. The freaks come out at night.
Everybody come out for the late show. Think about it. Nobody commented on the early show, but we was up till 1:00 in the morning.
And they all commenting.
Everybody was commenting, going ham.
Bunch of
But
vampires.
I love that. Yes, yes, yes. And everybody have a happy new year. Be safe. Don't drink and drive.
Let me do something, Keith.
Yes, go ahead.
Subscribe to the Alan V's Media 2 YouTube
Yes.
channel. Subscribe
See
to
it
the Alan
scrolling
V's
at the
Media
bottom.
2 YouTube channel. I got to do that.
Yes. Yes, we need more subscribers. Also, subscribe to the We Like Sports Show channel as well.
Yes,
too.
thank you.
And
Thank
we
you.
will, we coming on Tuesday?
Tuesday, 5:30. We'll be back. New Year's,
Tuesday at
bringing it in.
5:30. Yes, bringing in the new year right
Yes.
and everything. But everybody have a happy new year. Be safe. Don't do nothing that I wouldn't do. And be careful of your surroundings because people are trying to drug your shit. So, and we don't want to see you in one of those compromising positions. Everything. But everybody celebrate the new year. Be safe. Have fun. Enjoy the football games. Shout out to the Cleveland Browns for making the playoffs 2 out of 4 years with Kevin Stefanski. Also, another fact I want to bring up. They're the only team that has used 4 quarterbacks to go to the playoffs twice. And also another milestone, which my son and Vince Payton are going to love this. We have a better record than the Pittsburgh Steelers this year. And that's for the first time since 1989. 89. Damn, I was barely 20 years old.
I was
Damn.
9.
Damn. God damn. 20 years old with a flat top.
Woo, Keith.
With the little cut eyebrows.
Back when you were banging. Back when you were banging.
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But anyway, Ed, thank you for coming on. Happy New Year to your brother. Have fun. Get your drink on. Partake and participate. Have fun. I'm going to have a Happy New Year as well. But enjoy the games, everybody. We are not coming on this evening, so don't even think about it. But we are out. This is Loc'd On Sports 216 for the last day of 2023. See ya. And hopefully in 2024, things will be greater and bigger and better. Peace out. We out.
We in it for the love of the sport.
Love, man.
We the real McCoys, running the full court.
Yeah.
We in it for the love of the sport.
Ain't that right?
We the real McCoys from the AFC North. We in it for the love of the sport. We the real McCoys, running the full court. We in it for the love of the sport. We the real McCoys from the AFC North. We in it for the love of the sport.
Love, man.
We the real McCoys, running the full court.
Yeah.
We in it for the love of the sport.
Ain't that right?
We the real McCoys from the AFC North. We in it for the love of the sport. We the real McCoys, running the full